Peace, 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 peace. Making sure y'all can hear me out there. It's the brother Tariq back with the A1 podcast once again. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all rocking with us. You know what I mean? It's been a hectic month. We'll get to that in 1 second. Let me do our little generic opening. Still waiting for one of you brothers to go ahead and send in, or sister send in a track to be our opening title track to our podcast. You know what I mean? Where we bridging the gap, connect the people, and drop some jewels on the people. You know, trying to hit them with what they need to know. Not even the one I thought it was, huh? Yep. Yep. Guess a no go. Alright, peace. It's been a little while since I was able to sit before you, the community, and kick it with you guys. You know, like I said, us the Aboriginals, Indigenous, Asiatic people. You know what I'm saying? Or this wilderness we call North America. It's been a little minute. You know what I mean? I've been it's been hectic. It's been crazy. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure y'all know it's been crazy outside. Y'all see all the madness and different things that they got going on outside. You know what I mean? So, um, you know, I've been wanting to get back and touch base with you guys, but between my 9 to 5 and building other endeavors and trying to do the best I can for my family unit, you know what I mean? It gets a little tight on time sometimes. So forgive me. But it's been a lot going on, man. It's been a lot. It's been so much going on that you can see this whole planet and the whole world is you can see the plan of the Yakub coming together, man. So I think most of us who are in the know, right, are aren't third eye blind, so to speak. Um, you can see the groundwork and the plan being laid out there for us all, right? I mean, it's right there, clear as day, right? The first thing they always had to do was, excuse me, the first thing they always had to do was discredit the original man, right? They always had to make sure that there was nobody would have any respect for us. They would feel like we're just some type of monsters, or when whatever happens to us is always good. We're always getting what we had coming to us, right? So as far as that, I want to say like you know, it's a lot of what you would call state-run propaganda that attacks us as a group. You know what I mean? Now, as a community, us indigenous, Asiatic, some say Moorish or Aboriginal, whatever the term you feel comfortable with using today, um, is there's been a big plot for the past 50 to 60 years of divide and conquer, right, amongst us as a people, a group of people, especially when it comes to male and female relations, right? We are the least married. We have the most children out of wedlock, and both male and females, um, we are we have high rates of mass incarceration, right, among us. And it's like basically you hear a lot of people that's like, man, slavery never left, man. It just changed forms, and that's what it actually did. If you read books like the new Jim Crow, excuse me, the prison, the preschool pipeline, you know what I mean? It's laid out there for you. But I also touched on some things before, like a couple months ago, about feminism, right? And the part and the role that feminism played in destroying our happy homes. Um, it was a it was a concerted effort, you know, by by Yakub or the evil ones, whichever way you want to call it, right? those in power, it was an effort started by them back around prohibition. You know what I mean? To go ahead and start separating our families because we as a group we did well together, man and woman. You know what I mean? But now they got you thinking that you know a woman doesn't need her other half and vice versa. So you look at you just look at the past few months of the headlines, right? I remember arguing with one of my own relatives about Bill Cosby, Dr. Bill Cosby, Joe Puddin, Bill Cosby. We argued about him because it was like, the accusations were supposed to be enough. It got to the point where he didn't even have to be proven guilty anymore, right? Just for us to convict him in a court of public opinion. So then all of a sudden they broke the law to incarcerate him for the past 2 years or whatever. And once it comes down the pipe that yeah, we broke the law, so we gotta let him out, right? We still have men, indigenous men, wanting him to be convicted in a court of public opinion. And so that let me know right then, like they said before, or like the elders, or like my elders used to tell me, all skin folk and kinfolk. You dig? Because at the end of the day, there's clearly people that look just like you and me out here on these television sets with agendas. And they're going ahead and they're trying to use their mind control on you. They're trying to keep showing you a vision over and over again so to seep into your subconscious. Because that's what's happening, right? So it got to the point where, we even knew about R. Kelly was a little weirdo. He should have been locked up the first time. Let's keep it up. Let's be honest, right? Aaliyah's 15. Everybody knew about that. Then he's caught filming himself having intercourse with a young female. Why shouldn't he have been locked up, right? This man was like 30 something years old. The girl's like 15, and he's sleeping. They let him off. Why? Because I told you this country runs on perversion, right? Those in power, the elites, they're perverted. And so we villainized him, even though rightly so, that was out there. But we villainized him, but we let Woody Allen and Roman Polanski walk around free. We don't even talk about them, right? And no matter what, let's unpack that for a second. All those people in Hollywood and the music industry knew what kind of man R. Kelly was, just like they know about Roman Polanski, just like they know about Woody Allen, right? Just like they know about Tom Hanks, because we ain't gonna talk about how my man Tom Hanks just up and moved to a country with no extradition laws, right? But we ain't gonna talk about that. What's the other dude? The funny looking dude out in Cali. He got convicted in Cali and in New York. Whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying? You know which one I'm talking about. They don't talk about him. He's not in the news like that. But we talk about R. Kelly. Now, we all agree that he's a pervert. So he's locked up. He's incarcerated, right? But they broke the law, or they're twisting the law again to keep him incarcerated, and he looks like he's about to walk. Check it. He's about to walk. But at the end of the day, the damage is done. And the court of public opinion, he is a pedophile. Right? Nobody will ever respect him. We will all look down our nose at him. But none of you are talking about Bill Gates. Right? You're not talking about Microsoft and him buying up all this land and how his wife divorced him for having dinner and meeting and hanging with Jeffrey Epstein. And if you don't know who Epstein is, you got to go back to some of my other videos where I talked about him and Ghislaine Maxwell, right? The biggest sex trafficking ring of underage women and boys in the world. Even the Windsors are involved with this, right? A lot of, if you go back and even if you just go through the internet, right? Look through YouTube or look through old, do searches of old newspaper articles. There's a lot of people on Capitol Hill in this country in this country that went down for just having kiddie porn on their computers because they know, you know what I'm saying? And that's a big thing. You gotta remember back to the Pizzagate, and it was another one. It was like they were using codes and ordering furniture to order little kids, right? So I digress. I said all that to say this: it didn't just automatically start when brothers started getting money, right? Sickos and people doing insane things to females and children didn't start because these guys were let into the boys' club. That club existed before them fools got there, right? Now, whether you want to go ahead and you know, me personally, I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't think Bill Cosby did it. R. Kelly, we seen him do it, but I said all that to bring it back full circle, right? Because we still dealing with it again. Now, Deshaun Watson's the quarterback for the Houston Texans. He has 22 allegations against him of this conduct, right? Now, if you let people talk about it, they say, "Oh, he's got to be guilty, man. It's 22 women," right? But he hasn't been kicked out of the NFL yet, and he hasn't been arrested by no law enforcement agency because they've been, you know, these agencies have way more information than you want to believe, right? So he's been demonized all over ESPN, all over these news networks and things like that, right? He's a scumbag. He makes too much money. He has $100-something million, and he's out here groping up Instagram girls. First of all, if he did anything illegal with them females, Houston Police Department would have arrested him already. Add to that, the FBI is already looking into it because basically they're trying to extort him for money. And I mean, and this goes back to something that excuse me, this goes back to something that I learned a long time ago as a young indigenous man, Asiatic. If you start to become successful in society or in life, and women know about it, especially as a young Asiatic man of color, you are an easy target for blackmail because you know it's been let's say the girl who cried wolf many times, just so you know they can back you into a corner to get you to do what they want you to do, and you know when we're dealing with shame, a lot of people just go ahead and bite the bullet just to not be shamed in front of their family and peers, right? But then you also got people that just like, man, the hell with it. I'm gonna die on the sword. You know, my pride is everything. Some people call it foolish pride, but at the same time, I would call it a level of integrity. If you know you didn't do something, and it's going to be a stain on your family name and legacy for many moons to come, why admit to it? Shit, they done did the worst thing they could do to you already was besmirch your name. Now, I mean, they just rub dirt and paint on your name. But that goes back to the point that I was saying in the beginning. The whole point was those are all men of color who've been demonized like that. Ray Rice doesn't even play football no more because he punched his wife in the face. Now, he was dead wrong. He knocked the shit out that lady, and that was wrong. But they're married and still together. Whereas Chad Wheeler, we don't even talk about him. Just 6 months ago, he choked his black wife or girlfriend out. He choked her out, tried to kill her. He's not incarcerated. We're not talking about him. He did all that because he said she refused to bow to him like he was her master or God. We ain't gonna talk about that, huh? Just like, you know, the Rush Limbaughs and the Don Imuses of the shit. We don't talk about them because at the end of the day, the poster child for hyper masculinity or what they call it, toxic masculinity, which is, it makes no goddamn sense to me, is the original man, i.e. this quote unquote so-called black male. You know, we're supposedly over sexualized is what they call it, right? And that's like the propaganda that they show people of Caucasian descent or, you know, European descent, whatever, however you want to slice it and break it down. They've been showing this movie and since like 1912 or some shit like that. That was the first movie ever shown in the White House. You know what I'm saying? Birth of a Nation. And it's all propaganda. It's all propaganda on how we are the number one target. And we need to be eradicated. We need to be eradicated or brought under tow or under hill, however they say it. You know what I mean? We need to be brought in control and subjugated. We, the original people of here, the wilderness of America. I don't know where this one bug coming from. It's killing me, but it's been an effort, and the fact that like I said before, most people want to hide their head in the sand and act like it's not a thing. It's a thing. Just like I was watching the show and I was speaking with my son and my brother about an hour ago. The show's entertaining, but I have one big problem with the show. And if you look at television, or most of the things that are shown to you um, as an image or supposedly an accurate portrayal of our sisters, they're over sexualized and they're supposed to be super promiscuous and harlots and hoes and you get the rerun. Don't tell me you heard it in a rap song because it was in all those old black exploitation movies. It was in every movie that you ever seen. And even today, when women are supposed to be empowered, I'm watching the show. The woman is a queen, and all she does is hop in and out of bed with anybody, right? And then the one she's in love with is who else but the oppressor himself. You can't make this shit up. In the words of Kevin Samuel, you can't make it up. And so I find it ironic that as a man, when I sit down and try to have a real conversation with my sister, as a woman, we can't be farther from each other in a conversation with realization of what's actually happening, what's going on. For some reason, it's become an argument and a competition who has the worst plight. First off, we're the same group. So we're both fucked up. But at the end of the day, in order to kill a village or a nation, you gotta kill the warrior class first, sister. So you gotta kill him. And the easiest way to kill him is to get the father out of the house and control the mother. So when her son comes up, he's weak. He has no backbone. He has no foundation to stand on. And then we can create the cycle which we see today. Single mothers, single fathers, kids watching their parents go in and out of jail, trying to live up to an image that has been portrayed to them by society on the television or through radio programming. So that brings me back to where we started, psychological warfare. I've been told you most of the shit you're seeing is a psyop. It's a psychological warfare and attack on your mental, right? And the fact that, a lot of people will sit and, those who hear me will be like, yeah, I agree with them. But then we sit down, or like if you watch something like Kevin Samuels or even this brother I just became acquainted with his content, the Poor Man's Podcast. When you listen to them just try to have conversations about rebuilding our family structures in the community, the premise everybody agrees on, but once we get down to the fundamentals of taking off our shirts or rolling up our sleeves to do the work as adults, we're all out war. You know what I'm saying? You got the manosphere and the feminists. At the end of the day, we know what's wrong and I can't say nobody's, I want to say like people just don't want to do the work. They just want to try to support their argument and understand that if we're the least married, we're the least financially stable, we're the least everything. And that starts when you break apart man and woman, woman and man, right? And so if we can't get together on anything, we can't even get together on, is it a pandemic or pandemic? We can't get together on, do you go to work or do you not go to work for? We can't get together, is America dying? And that's gonna lead me to my next segue. Because as far as it comes for us in this country, are in this corporation, because let's be honest, it's a corporation. And that's a big thing that most motherfuckers ain't understanding, and they keep bumping their head, bumping their head, thinking, trying to be a fucking patriot toward a corporation. You might as well sign your fucking life away to McDonald's then. I mean, it's the same shit, same concept. But, we'll spin back to that when one of y'all ready. The point I'm trying to make is the time for us to debate these shits, these conversations, and have these real in-depth conversations is running out. Everybody's trying to live their best life. All the fellas want to live their best life, and all the sisters want to live hot girl summers. That only thing that happens when the family feuds, you know what I'm saying, is the babies lose. So we're not leaving nothing behind for these cats. Yeah, we're making more money, right? But as society crumbles around us, right, while we're not paying attention, it's definitely leaving a mark on these kids, because we're making more money than our parents made, but we have less free time and less disposable income than our parents had. I'm gonna say it again because you might have missed it. So we're making more money than our parents made, right? But we have less free time with our children, and we have less disposable income. So you got to understand what's going on. They're giving you more but taking more at the same time. They demanding more loyalty, from you at the same time. So basically, our kids is being raised by electronics, right? And so their electronics is just like the school system. It teaches them that even though you're their first teacher, you're their parent. And if you're halfway decent, right, you're not going to lie to your children about things that they really care about. You're going to want to see them know the truth so they can go out in life and make informed decisions and be well taken care of, and be able to position themselves in the way that's going to benefit them in the long run. I mean, I just think, right? But the reality is now, it's the what they call the Willie Lynchism syndrome to the 9th degree, because now the parent and the child are separated too. It's not just father and son, it's mother and daughter, mother and son, father and daughter. Oh, you old as hell, you don't know what you're talking about. The rapper once said, ain't nothing new under the sun, it's just how it's done, right? So with that being understood, they can remix the shit all they want to. It's still the same thing, right? Only thing is they're trying to take you out of an analog society and put you into a digital society. But that one might be a little too heavy for some of these cats eating baby food. So I said all that to say this. You're behind the 8 ball, but you've been knowing you're behind the 8 ball. So now what happened? Plandemic or pandemic, most people's jobs are gone and they're not coming back. More than ever before, those women who were proud graduates of whatever university and had these great careers that they can be proud of. And understand, this ain't a shot. This is just the reality check. If you could look this up through statistics and stats and all that good, statistics are stats, but you know what I mean. You can look it up. Most of the people who lost their jobs for good, at whatever company or corporation they were working at through the pandemic, has been females. And we already know the darker you are, the faster you go. So you better understand what I'm saying. And if you ain't catch it, I'll say it again. The darker you are, the faster you go on a job. And that's just the reality. It is what it is. You can say it's racism, but when you break it down and look at it, it's called group tongue tied. You know what I mean? It's called group economics. I'm gonna want my brother to have a job before my man. That's just what it is. I want my sister to have a job before my homegirl, or a fling, or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's just group economics. It's a smart business plan. I can't even be mad about some of that shit. You know what I mean? And if you put yourself in a position, you can maneuver like that. But I said all that to say this. So the fact that we already had communication problems, we've lost an income in our family. Even if we ain't together, shit. Dad got a job, mom got a job. The baby would be it'd be halfway decent. You know what I'm saying? But shit, we miss one of those incomes and costs are steady skyrocketing, right? Making it so hard for you to live where you work. You know what I mean? What the fuck are you gonna do? They be having food. They're creating food shortages, right? Because they're trying to let you know they're creating chaos for you, so they can come with the solution and you'll take it. And that goes into my next section about where we stand in a global economy. In the global economy, the dollar is shit. Fiat currency is shit. You don't know what that is, you might need to start Googling and catch up because this shit is about to hit you where it hurt. Why do you think you pay more for a gallon of milk than you used to? Technically, you're not paying more. It's just the level of inflation went up, so it looks like you're paying more, but you're actually paying the same fucking amount, right? And with that being said, that just lets you know that our dollar is not the standard on the global market anymore. So the biggest concern has been if these other countries, i.e. corporations, get off the dollar standard, right? Create their own currency that's backed by a tangible good like oil or gold, our economy will collapse on itself. We do not produce anything. We thought outsourcing to China and Brazil and India was great, huh? Right? You get goods cheaper. What you did was you took away your own ability to have a self-sustaining economy. See, basically, you replace common decency and common knowledge with profits. That's why in the corporation of America, the owners of a country, of a corporation, now make more than they did in 1950. And I mean that by saying in 1950, their rent to income ratio to one of their lowest paid employees was 15-1. So if you made $20, you know what I'm saying, the owner of that corporation probably made about 200,000, whatever, give or take, you know what I mean? Spitball. So now, you make $20, that motherfucker get a bonus like 3.5 million. You understand what I'm saying? Your rate of pay ain't changed. You gotta think it's been 21 years and the rate of minimum wage has not changed. If it wasn't for the pandemic creating a shortage of workers, of people that were willing to go to work, or people that they need, right? Like the demand for a worker, McDonald's wouldn't pay you $21 an hour to come in there and shake them fries. Now that lets you know where we at. They've been had the money to do that. Now what they're saying is we're gonna offset costs. So I'm gonna pay you $21 to come get, give me this Big Mac. But at the same time, I'm gonna charge you $12 for a gallon of milk. And then they're trying to go ahead and give you soy-based milk or whatever. They're flipping it around, right? That's why they gave you the run on an Impossible Burger and Impossible Chicken. It's plant-based. Do you understand what the word plant-based means? They can put 10 to 15% of plant substance in there. Not saying it's plant, it's just plant substance. It has a base of plant in it. And they're going to give it to you. And the rest of that shit is something they cooked up in a laboratory somewhere. You don't know how the hell it's going to affect your body, and you're going to eat this shit. That's why your favorite Nazi man, Bill Gates, he brought up all the goddamn farmland. He brought up all the farmland because he knows what's about to happen. They're about to create a food shortage. You know what I mean? Because he don't want you eating regular cheeseburgers. He don't want you eating regular chicken. He's going to give you plant-based food. Why? Because that's what he wants. And I told you before, when a man tells you that most of the people in society are useless eaters, they're just useless people, they just take up space, don't ever think this motherfucker got your best interest at heart. You know what I mean? Just it is what it is. And that's because they're already in league with the other billionaires. They're trying to get rid of people. The planet's overcrowded. No, cities are overcrowded because the way you set it up, most people don't understand how to fend for themselves no more. Then you almost make it illegal to fend for yourself, to build your own house on your own land and use solar power or wind power or hydro power. Like they will charge you for that. And then there's actually instances on the internet where they even lock white people up for this shit. I kid you not. Oh, you wanna go ahead and put solar panels on your shit, huh? Yeah, we gonna lock you the fuck up. Oh, and we gonna tax you. If you don't pay these taxes, we taking your shit. I kid you not. I'm making it like a joke, but goddamn, this shit's for real. You know what I'm saying? And the illest part is when you talk to people about this shit. You know what I'm saying? You get one of these. You know what I mean? But if I asked them about last night's game, if I asked them about a fight, if I asked them about a new artist music coming out or something, they would give me all the fucking information I didn't even know. I tell me about other stars and actors that they're related to and shit. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck, really? At the end of the day, who gives a fuck? You know? And it's getting to that point where as America loses their military grip, you know what I'm saying? I don't think you really understand. We just fucking lost in the Middle East. 20 years, $2 trillion, dilapidated roads and schools, everything's falling apart. And they left in a week. Them motherfuckers walked right in and took everything back. Understand, man. That's why I mean, like, a lot of this shit is technology. So while they was lining their pockets, you was over here getting fucked. And so now they lost a strategic military advantage, which they, let's be honest, if you study history, they wasn't going to hold anyway. That's supposedly the death region for any empire. You go there, try to take that shit over, you lose. Then your empire crumbles afterwards. Happened to the Soviets, happened to everybody else, right? So now we leave Afghanistan. Everybody's been over here, of the Caucasus region, for ancestry has been provoking the shit out of Iran, right? And what do? Oh, they go join China. Oh, they go join Russia and the fucking military pact. So here's a $1 million question: was the situation better than we found it? Hell nah, we fucked. So now we about to pay a king's ransom for all the goods that we let our corporations go over there, right, and make with a USA fucking symbol on stamp on it. Then they're going to sell it to you because they turned you into consumers instead of producers. Our whole lives about not being together so we can keep buy, sell. And the reality of it is most of the people, are miserable like a motherfucker. The parents are miserable, the kids are miserable. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really happy. You might have a good week worth of days in a year. Most of the time you're stressed, you're thinking about tomorrow, you're thinking about next week, you're thinking about next month. Because the reality is this shit, it's been designed to fall on our watch. But it's really not our watch. You think it's your watch because you're of age, you're a contributor member to society, right? You gotta use the air quotes, quote unquote society. But that was the plan the whole time. You got the King's Alfred's plan. You got Agenda 21. And everything else has been like a pump fake, play action. It's misdirection. Whole thing was to get you off your dime, off your square, and to let them put you in a position to be cattle. Because that's all it is. You're cattle. So now, for all my Christians, you got to go over there and take that mark of the beast. Because no matter what other scientists say, right, and what other studies say you gotta have it. You gotta have this. Gotta have this shot, right? Jab, whatever the fuck. I started to ask the guy earlier, when we was talking about it, I'm like, well, shit, I want to take what the doctors and nurses take. I want to take that little pill, man. I heard that should be rocking. I heard that shit rock. I heard it keep you right. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I don't know about the other thing, but, if I got to have one, I'm going to take that. It's been around for like 50, 60 years. That ain't even an option. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even an option. Boy, you painted in the corner. Like, man, I was checking into something, not too long ago. The whole thing about it, the whole premise is about what makes modern people unhappy. What makes most of us unhappy is that we're weighed down by earthly possessions, right? We gotta have 3, 4 cars. We gotta have 2, 3 nice cribs. Gotta have some jewelry or nice clothes and shit. Just shit when you break it down and think about the big picture of life, don't mean a goddamn thing. They don't even that material shit don't even make you happy. And if you don't believe me, research how many millionaires and billionaires kill themselves over ordinary broke motherfuckers living check to check. I kid you not. We get weighed down by all the shit that we accumulate, man, and we don't even understand it. But that's a part of the goddamn side. You know what I mean? Because no matter what, I seen that new Jag, son. I want it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a part of our conditioning. It's called psychological conditioning. You know what I mean? We've all been test subjects out here. And most of y'all don't even get it. And that's the illest part. Because sometimes I'll talk to a Caucasian person or whatever, and they be just as lost in the sauce as a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the point. Keep the poor poor and divided. They'd be so busy fighting with each other that they can't see us. You know what I mean? And remember, it's a lot more of them than it is us. So, I know I gave y'all a lot to think about, but it's been a lot of shit on my mind. So I just kind of been like, just firing off. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, these are the kind of conversations we have to have. And this is the illest part. For me, this is why it's hard to conversate with other people. What are we really talking about? What are we really talking about? We're not trying to improve our brands and make it so that we can have something tangible for these children. It's basically it's a waste of air, oxygen. Talking about nothing. We're not doing nothing, or as my enlightener would say, showing and proving nothing. We really got to show and prove. Our neighborhoods are getting gentrified at an even faster rate. There's a bunch of ghost houses, right? They're building all these ghost houses. Nobody can afford to live in the old dilapidated houses. How the fuck you gonna build all these new houses? And then the houses that the people that can afford to move into them new houses, what happened to their old houses that the people that lived in them dilapidated houses couldn't afford? That's the reason why the homeless crisis is getting worse. But it's not really a crisis if it was designed like that. Feel me? It's not a crisis if it's designed to be like that. How do you know you're rich unless you know that somebody else is poor? You wouldn't know to feel better than this person unless you can see somebody who's obviously is at have a harder time in life than you, right? And I'm just saying, so much shit is happening right now. Everybody want to act like it's not. It's kind of disheartening. You don't even want to hold a conversation with them because they don't know how to talk. They don't know what to talk about. They ain't talking about shit. And it's like, I got love for you. Should I waste my breath talking to you? It's like talking to a brick wall. we're not talking about how we gonna take care of each other for the next year, what are we really talking about? You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Nothing. We just wasting each other's time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if shit hit the fan tomorrow, 95% of the people here wouldn't know what to do. I know it's supposed to be 85, but shit. Sometimes I feel like that 85 is too low because some of y'all motherfuckers is crazy. Y'all just crazy. This is some shit that we got to deal with. You know what I mean? And it's like, we just hoping and wishing that it'll change and people will have a heart. Well, if you haven't noticed, history has shown you that they don't have a fucking heart. They're using the fact that you got a heart to manipulate you and get over on you. You know what I'm saying? Drag you, shit on you, and basically live off your back. And that's just the way it is. And at the end of the day, it's a lot of things that can be done. I noticed one thing. When regular people are doing business with regular people, we want them to come to us with the 5-star, high quality, been around since 1818 type of resource shit. Nah. You went to a regular person because you want a discount, right? But at the same time, you tired of these damn corporations. So you gotta understand, Ricky and Tito's Automotive only got Ricky and Tito Automotive kind of shit. They ain't got the same shit Monica got. You know what I'm saying? But they do their job. They do good work. They're gonna give you good quality, and they're gonna treat you like you want to be treated because that's how they want to be treated if they come into your establishment. Same thing with I don't know. I'm trying to think of a regular around the way girl name do your head or your nails or you know what I'm saying, or Mike and them barbershop and shit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand that, we need to get back to doing business with each other on a personal level because at the end of the day, I think that's the only way, we're gonna really make them understand that, we know what's going on and we're fighting back in our own little way. Because at the end of the day, most people say, well, that shit ain't gonna work. That's a lie. You a fool. Because they printed all that fucking money and everybody didn't spend all that money. You see what I'm saying? Everybody got some money. A lot of you spent your money and a lot of people didn't spend it. They're mad about the people who didn't spend their money. So it was enough people to where they fucking noticed that you didn't spend your money. And they was mad about that shit. They big mad. Check it out. It's on C-SPAN. You know what I'm saying? They talk about this shit. Man, them motherfuckers, we giving them money and they ain't even spending it. No, they'll spend it eventually. You motherfuckers is smart. They like, man, I'm gonna put this shit under the mattress, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? But it's food for thought, man. You know what I'm saying? And as we get to the point where I've been giving you a lot of the problems, man, I want to get back to solution based. Solution based for me, for the most part, one is it's not looking outside. I already got the answers inside. I know what's going on. You know what's going on, whether you want to admit it to yourself or not. And the old people, the ones like, oh, this motherfucker old, she old as hell. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They've been told us what to do. They've been told us what to do. That's why, I found it ironic when everything was shut down and motherfuckers was all scared and they fighting over tissue and water. And I'm sitting here chilling. Chilling like a motherfucker. Motherfuckers like, yeah, man, you gotta go get it. Man, shit, I had all that shit. Been had it. You know what I mean? And a few things I didn't have, I just went and got it. No problem. Wasn't no line for where I went to it at. And if there was, it wasn't no pushing and shoving. Everybody was cool, civil, because there's a bunch of people that's paying attention. You know what I mean? We've been knowing that our so-called politicians have been selling us out for the longest time. I mean, just think about this. I was talking to a coworker about this shit. This shit's funny as hell. It's like, yo, how the fuck you're a senator or fuck, House member, whatever, right? House representative, and you're only supposed to make like 150 to 175,000 a year, but you're worth 80 million. Even if you've been at your fucking job 20 years, baby, that's only like 2 million and some change. That's not fucking 80 million. It's not 100 fucking million. That means you've been taking what they call donations, right? You know, because you can spend that shit, right? If you do it right, if you set it up right. All right, man. There's so much information out there. It's funny, man, because I ain't even gonna hold you. I was trying to be like a city politician at one point in time. I thought that shit was gonna be cool. I thought I could affect some change and line my pocket. Man, them motherfuckers some slimy, sneaky sons of bitches. You understand? But you know, shit, I ain't even going front on my Jay-Z shit. I can't even knock their hustle sometimes because you can see it, and if you can't see it, you know, you just blind. Because at the end of the day, you know, they threw Ron Isley and damn, they went and got Lauren Pocket and threw my man Wesley up in the bank because they didn't want to pay taxes. But there's a way about that, and that's legal. You feel me? If you're dealing with the right people running in the right motherfucking circles. Because your income ain't supposed to be taxed twice. But what the fuck do I know? You know what I'm saying? I'm just some black guy from a neighborhood. You motherfuckers need to read a book or a newspaper or something. No cap. You know what I'm saying? This shit for real, for real. Like, read something. Don't read the fucking entertainment page. Nobody cares about what Julia Roberts and her kids are doing. No disrespect to her. I think she's a good actress, but who gives a fuck? How does that help me? You know what I'm saying? How does that help me put dinner on the table? How does that help me acquire and accumulate property and possessions that's going to position my family not to struggle for the next fucking 18 generations? Because this shit is a cycle that keeps repeating itself. So there's a bunch of good people out there. I would encourage you to read Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Power of Economics. I would encourage you to read Dr. Neely Fuller's book, White Supremacy. I would encourage you to read Dr. Francis Cress Wilson's book, Keys to Color. I told you before, man, that book changed my life, man. It's so on and so on, man. There's so much knowledge, right? Because when you're moving in knowledge and in purpose, man, it makes you calm. It makes it easier to focus on your task and move. Now, don't get me wrong, the bullshit it's gonna come at you every day. But you gotta surround yourself with like-minded people and keep building communities like the one we're on right now. We gotta keep building communities like where, you know, some of these other and I hate the term conscious community because it's almost like you're trying to deify ordinary people that live ordinary lives. Motherfuckers live next door to you. You know what I'm saying? They're people, but they're just more aware of their choices and actions. And all we're asking for, I know all I'm asking for is you to be more aware of your choices and your actions, B. You know what I'm saying? And that's from a place of love. You know what I mean? I ain't got time to be hating y'all, man. Them motherfuckers is on everybody's ass. I ain't got time to hate you. I just want to see you win, baby. With that said, I'm gonna wrap this up. You know, I'm gonna run too long on this one. You know, peace and love. Like I said, always, I hope I leave you guys in a better position than I left you in. Excuse me, a better place. You know, always peace throughout the whole universe, man. Let the universe guide you, man. We one and the same with everything up there. You know what I mean? As above, so below. You know, it's all within. You know what I'm saying? If y'all have any questions, any topics, man, you know, definitely hit me up, man. Don't be shy. You know, I think a lot of people act like they don't want to be the one to ask a question about a topic. There's no such thing as a dumb question or a dumb topic. A dumb topic. You know, that's the only way we can grow and learn is if we stop being afraid to talk to one another, right? Because it's meet one, each one, teach one, right? A like, B like, C like. So when we on that wavelength, man, you know, we're powerful. You know what I mean? Like they said, 5 individual fingers, 1 fist. You know what I mean? You know, just use that. But definitely, man, eat right. You know, try to be the best version of yourself and take care of each other, man. Always like, subscribe, and share so we can grow and meet more people and get together. But as always, man, peace, love, and hair grease, baby. One.